All right, guys. So, hey, Gloria, what's going on? You know, because we're Marines and we adapt and overcome, right? That's what we do. Freaking hoorah, right, guys? All right, Gloria, right on. Okay, cool. So, looks like we got the chat thing figured out. All right, so today we're working on the gimbal. It's workout time. That's right. Hold on one second. I gotta get some freaking coffee in me, man. All right, so really quick, guys, before I start my routine. So we got this reluctant prophet. He's buddies with Lane. By the way, I can't stop watching this guy. He's great. Last night, I tune in to the Lane Myers channel, and I'm watching him rock out to some guitar. It's a freaking outstanding guitar work, by the way, Gloria. It was super cool. Yeah, make sure to double tap that screen. And he's got Reluctant Prophet on there, and they're talking about this lawsuit that this judge, this justice of the peace in Arizona, filed against Reluctant Prophet for defamation. And I guess because Reluctant Prophet, I guess, is republishing what Lane said in court about the judge misrepresenting his 9 years of judicial experience, as well as saying that, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I have a regular job. That's why I'm doing this workout with you guys right now. Hey, Bruce, that he was kidnapped by the judge, and the judge is saying, no, I didn't kidnap him. That's basically defamation. You're defaming me. So the judge apparently filed a lawsuit against this guy, this pro-per guy who's friends with Myers. And they're talking about that, and I'm just cracking up because Lane is just such a character, man. I mean, how can you not like the guy? And he really knows his stuff when it comes to substantive law, so it's really awesome. So if you guys get a chance to follow Reluctant Prophet, go ahead and do that, as well as Lane. So just really quick, I'm going to just get into a little bit of a stretching routine, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Now, normally I have this auto tracking thing on, but hopefully you guys can hear me. So as you guys probably know, I do Judo, and I've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a pretty big part of my life, as well as Muay Thai, so I've got a lot of injuries. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Give me some 5x5s if you can still hear me. All right, cool. So anyways, I did a video yesterday and I pointed out that because he's a sitting judge, there's all these judicial immunity as well as litigant immunity standards that would apply. But then one of my viewers pointed out that, well, you know what? Reluctant Prophet's not a party litigant, so those probably wouldn't apply to him. And additionally, making a statement that the judge committed a crime like kidnapping could be slander per se or negligence per se, because I was pointing out that there's no way this guy's probably going to be able to prove damages, assuming arguendo the case was heard in California or Texas. Again, I can only give legal advice about California or Texas, but as a citizen, I can definitely talk about my opinions about what I think. And so that's why I'm sort of couching it, because as an officer of the court, I've got all these other rules I've got to abide by, or I won't be able to feed my family or help you guys. So slander per se is a spoken defamation where the damages are presumed, and libel per se is a defamation where it's written and damages are presumed. So what I mean by damages, it's one of the hardest things to prove in a defamation case, is to prove your reputation was damaged, especially if you're a public figure and you voluntarily thrust yourself into the public light. All right, so let that sink in. Hey, right on, Girl Harwood. Girl Harwood says she's been a paralegal on another one of my posts that I did yesterday in Arizona. I'd like to talk to her because, again, I'm not licensed in Arizona. Now, there is a possibility that I could get waived in, like I got waived into Texas, because I've got over 20 years in as a lawyer. And I might just do that because it looks like you guys need help out in Arizona. And I'm all about helping the common man. I don't like the administrative state. I don't like the unfair advantage that people have in our justice system. I think that justice should be just. I'm feeling okay, brother. Yeah, I'm not ticking, I'm stretching, bro. This isn't a tick. I'm trying to get limber because it's freezing cold out here in Nevada. So give me 1 second. Let me try to get warm. Let me try to get warm, a little warm, and let me get this down here so you guys can see me. All right. So, by the way, I would love to challenge Lane to a push-ups contest. I know he's younger than me, but I pride myself in staying physically fit and still being able to work 18 hours a day. And I'm not a kangaroo chef like him, so I can't, the guy's in shape, man, but I'm going to try to do my best, all right, guys? So work with me. This will be my first set. I'm a little warm now, not super warm. All right. So, yeah, and that's the idea, Jenna, is I want to motivate people to understand that you need to exercise. I get up at 04, work on briefs, and especially you lawyers, because litigators like me have about the same life expectancy as a dentist, which is pretty bad, and a high suicide rate. And they put atrazine in our water now. They're trying to feminize men. The average male has about 30 to 40% less testosterone than his grandfather. So that's why I'm an advocate of getting off of the Bill Gates farm industrial complex, homesteading, growing your own food, buying food from people who don't use atrazine and chemicals on their food. And that's why I keep on telling you guys, we need to form our own parallel systems, all right? We need to form parallel systems and help each other. So let me look at these comments. Drop and give us 20. I think I gave you more than 20 just now. Let me see here. Yeah, Jenna, it's pretty bad. especially guys like me, because we actually care about our clients. So the stress of worrying, like if I had taken Carolina's case and lost, I probably would have been incommunicado for about a month. You probably wouldn't have heard from me, from the shame and guilt that I would have felt from losing. Even with the shit jury, I would have still taken it personal. It's another reason why I shy away from trials now, because now that I have a son and I'm trying to get him through judo, teach him honor, you know, I don't want him seeing me depressed and bummed out. So today we're doing the home workout. So I have the benefit of my dumbbells and my FNP 45 and some other nice hardware there for you to take a look at. And then I see the typical belligerent comments from BZ that he keeps repeating. And then, hey, what's up, Rami? All right, so now what we'll do is we'll do some dumbbells. Now, normally when I go to Powerhouse, you know, I'll do more heavy weights. My bench is down to about 225 now. When I first started doing these shows, it was over 300 for like 6. And now I can maybe do 300 for 1 with a spotter. So it goes up and down. The idea is, though, guys, even when you're not in tip-top shape, you still need to work out, right? Like you can see, I put on quite a bit of body fat, but I'll get that down. So let's go. So we'll start with a little bit of lightweight. We'll start with 20s. And what we'll do is, rather than just go for biceps, we'll do some overhead press, right? And this will get your medial and anterior deltoids going. So just like that. All you guys need is some 20-pound dumbbells. That's all this is. I take these with me everywhere I go. They're rubber. Trained to failure. I don't know how many that was, but again, I'm trying to get warm. So you can see these are just 20s. 2-0. All right. All right. Now just take some fivers, do some medial raises. Just trying to get that, especially for you guys who sit in front of a computer all day. You need to get all the muscles in your trapezius and upper rhomboids pulling so they straighten your spine back out. All right, so that was the side raises. Now we do bent overs. All right. All right, now while I'm taking my break, you want to take a very small rest between sets. And we'll talk a little bit more about, hey Gloria, good seeing you. Talk a little bit more about libel and slander per se. So one of my viewers pointed out, well, hey, reluctant prophet accused Judge Ball of kidnapping, which is a crime, and therefore damages are presumed, and no way he can file an anti-SLAPP, which is a defamation case is also known as a strategic lawsuit against public participation, right? Because it's designed to silence speech. So you file an anti-SLAPP, and that's my area of expertise. One of them is defamation, but don't call me, I don't do defamation cases anymore. Worst possible law you could ever practice. And I was pointing out also that since these guys are pro pers, although they may be self-styled lawyers, they're not entitled to attorney's fees as a general rule. So this judge probably, in my mind, if his name was Judge Bell, I would assume he's doing this to stop this guy from talking trash on him. But what my audience member doesn't understand is a presumption of damages doesn't mean damages are automatic. It's just a presumption. So it's called a rebuttable presumption, all right? A rebuttable presumption. So in your pleadings, you can rebut the presumption and you can still file an anti-SLAPP. Now, the problem is if reluctant prophet, hold on. Or even Lane were to do that, I don't know how, unless somebody can show me, a paralegal or someone in Arizona, unless someone can show me that the laws have changed, because I've researched all 50 states. I've never found a case where a non-attorney who represents himself can get attorney's fees. Even me, when I file a lawsuit against someone as an attorney, I'm not entitled to attorney's fees because I'm representing myself. The only way I get attorney's fees is if I hire another lawyer. They get the attorney's fees. So the biggest, so I'm thinking this judge is not as dumb as you guys think. He's thinking these guys are so proud and self-righteous, they won't hire an attorney. They'll spend thousands of dollars and hours and time, and even if they win, nothing happens to me because I don't have to pay any attorney's fees, and that's the major component of a defamation case. All right, so now let me get back. Let me do another set of shoulders. So now we're going to bump it up to 30s, right? The same deal, right? We're going to do some military press, basically is what this is, front press. Some people call it the Arnold press because I'm doing the turn like this. Exhale on the exertion. Inhale when you come back. All right. And since I'm not totally tired, what we'll do is we'll do some shrugs, try to get some blood in there, and we're going to work on our trapezius muscles and our upper rhomboids. See, some lawyers know more Latin than just legal terms. All right. So with respect to this defamation claim, by the way, here we'll drop this down a little bit so you can see some of my stretching. And this comes from Judo, right? Because basically this is what you would do when you're doing a throw. All your torque, well, in some throws, comes from your hips, right? So you want to get that going, get loose, especially people who sit in chairs, great exercise. And then here, and I got a bad knee, so just bear with me, but I'll do as best as I can. All right. So now I'm pretty warm. No kangaroo for me to cook this morning though. Yeah, that does help with a golf swing, but it also helps with your throws. So I grab behind your tricep, I come in, I go underneath, and then boom, boom. Then you always hold on to the wrist and you protect your uke or your training partner when you're training. So when you throw them, you want to be gentle. It's a gentle art. If I throw somebody on this concrete, the reason I don't need to know BJJ like a typical BJJ fighter, which is Judo and Newaza ground fighting, because once you throw someone who's twice your size onto the asphalt, they're not getting back up. They're gonna have a broken arm, well, you saw what happened to Carolina and Fort Worth. Now imagine me throwing a guy that's like 300 pounds and dropping him on his head. And also, in BJJ, This is how they start. They're on their back trying to pull them into their guard, right? So, now, if I'm on the ground facing multiple attackers, they're just going to kick me to death. So that's why I'm a proponent of judo, you know, where I can throw or I can box, right? I can do some boxing. And then maybe get in for a throw, shoot in. But in standard BJJ, you're on the ground. They don't really teach a lot of stand up. And in a real fight, 99% of fights start standing, and then they end up on the ground once you grab onto each other. And unless you're a collegiate wrestler who knows how to control my head, which most of you aren't, I think I'm going to have a really good probability of defending myself. Right on, Jenna. I think judo is, and look, I'm not going to sit here and trash any other art, but the reason why I love judo is because it teaches you the samurai philosophy. Honor, duty to your family, all those things that us men, real men, need to have in order to rear up proper children. Definitely not vaxxer, Otto. Never, and it's not called a vax, it's called, well, I don't even want to say that because I'll get my channel banned, but anyways, we'll talk about that on Rumble sometime. All right, so let me, okay, now we'll do some biceps. But hopefully, hey, thanks, Rami. You got our new sub, Mr. X. So hopefully you guys are understanding now that, so Reluctant Prophet, he could be facing a slander or libel per se claim against from Judge Ball based upon a statement that Judge Ball committed a crime. And since it wasn't during a courtroom proceeding and it was outside a court proceeding in a phone call publishing to another party, he could argue my damages are presumed. Do not pass go, I win. Yeah, about the same time, Dispassionate, yeah. So we'll start out with 20s and we'll do hammers. Okay, these are called hammer curls, just like this. It's called a hammer, right? Again, train to failure. I'm not doing sets because normally I train with weights that are about 3 times heavier than this, but I'm at home and I have a Zoom conference in a little while, and typically I have to take an ice bath when I'm done training and do like the hot sauna and all that because I train so heavy when I do train. But today is just maintenance and to give me an opportunity to motivate you people who are sitting on your asses doing nothing, you men who are allowing your bodies to deteriorate when your wives and children need you. We die much sooner than them. And they need you, so you have to stay in shape. All right, so what could a guy like a Reluctant Prophet do to make sure that he is entitled to attorney's fees in a case like this, where now there would be immense pressure on Judge Ball to settle? Well, if it was California or Texas, I would say hire a patriotic local attorney, preferably someone who served in the Marine Corps, because we have a different mentality than 99% of lawyers if we are lawyers. Because we really, really take our oath to uphold the Constitution seriously. You join the Army, you join the Air Force, you join the Navy, you join the Space Force, but you become a United States Marine. It's totally different. We're like America's French Foreign Legion. And most of us joined because we wanted to protect and defend the Constitution. We didn't understand that our government was lying to us so they could sell military hardware. Like Gulf of Tonkin, which never happened. And my father died from Agent Orange because he was a Marine, because we were lied to about Gulf of Tonkin, okay? Hoorah, Tarnished Viking. Now we'll go back to the 20s. We'll do some triceps. All right. I forgot the name of this exercise. I'm sure somebody can tell me. I think they're just called tricep raises, but So I stabilize myself, right? All I'm doing is just pushing up, hammering up to the sky, hammering up towards Odin. My tries are already a little blown from doing those push-ups. I can't see your comments yet, but as soon as I'm done, I'll come back and take a look. Again, we're just going light, guys. I'm not doing anything crazy. Don't insult me and say, oh, I can do more than that. Once you're my age and you're still even able to get out of bed, we'll talk about it then. All right. So with respect to the prophet, I would say your best bet is to hire yourself local counsel and use your clout that you and Lane have on YouTube to sponsor their firm, help them out, and work a deal with them. I've had, just since I hit 20,000 subscribers, I've had all these political campaigns reaching out, offering me thousands of dollars to advertise on my channel, and I'm like, no. I'm a libertarian. I'm not going to support you. It's not going to happen. I don't sell myself for money. I work on cases that I want to work on, and I only take money from people, by the way, Federal Reserve notes from people who I like and trust. I'm not going to sponsor someone I don't care about. But if you find somebody who does, then you'll be good. So let me see here. So now we're just going to do some regular Bruce, you can do it too, but it's all about stretching. You got to stay limber. Got to stay limber. So now we'll bump it up to 35s and we'll just do regular curls. All right. Now the key with the curls is you want to supinate at the top. So watch how I supinate in. Supinate. See how I'm turning right here? Supinate. Come up. Supinate. Yeah. Yeah. So now I'm filled with blood. Yeah, Federal Reserve notes, that's right. Fiat currency. All right, good job, Rami. All right, so now let's get on to the next one. So hopefully you guys, reluctant prophet, doing my best to try to put out the knowledge. I know you guys know a lot, but I got 20 years in and I've done a lot of defamation cases. I'm trying to help you understand probably the thinking of your opponent. I'm a big proponent of the art of war, Sun Tzu, and being a martial artist, I'm always trying to use my opponent's inertia against them, right? Always use their inertia against them. You never want to do a frontal assault when you can go and you can do collateral. You can hit them from their weaker spots. So the next one is going to be Officer Krueger. Okay, Officer Matthew Krueger. He was fired from his job at Fort Worth after slamming Carolina in Fort Worth and busting her head open. And congratulations for making the right decision to fire the guy. But a bunch of zeros for firing her after you guys won the case against Carolina for interference, which I think was a bullshit charge. And I think that it should be reversed on appeal. But in the interim, that's what happened. It was all, in my opinion, strategic. They knew where they were going to fire the guy, but they knew it would create the appearance of a bad arrest if they didn't fire him until after the conviction. So that's how I think of it. Give me a bunch of ones if you agree. My fear is that he's still going to keep working. So all you cop watchers need to keep an eye on this. Need to keep an eye on guys like this who get fired. Find out the new departments they go to and raise holy hell. Get active on social media and start tracking these bad cops. Because if they've done it once and they get fired, they're going to go to some podunk town and do it again. It's just going to keep happening. And so, you know, hey, Brick, good seeing you, bro. All right, so let's... Whew. All right, so we're going to cut it down to 20s, and we're going to go back for some hammer curls. All right? This is another way you can do them to get in the flow. See how I'm just kind of going one up, or you can do it like this: one, come all the way down, two, but this is more like the, yeah, I'm freaking gung-ho, right? And then I'll just come back up, do some triceps. And again, this isn't like a muscle building exercise, this is maintenance. This is when you couldn't make it to the gym all week and you feel guilty, so at least you get your dumbbells, and luckily you have an audience on YouTube, so otherwise you probably wouldn't even do it at all. But since you're trying to motivate other people as a leader, now it makes you also do it. Some of the best ways to learn is to teach. Some of the best ways to lead is to follow. That's how you learn. All right. So let me see here. All right. So there you can see it's just a little, it starts with 5-pounders and goes up to 35s. And then I have these. It just helps you get a little bit deeper on your push-ups, so you don't have to touch the ground. So I'll do one more set of push-ups, and then we'll call it a day because I got to get to work. All right, guys? So far, hey, give me a bunch of ones. Not bad for a 55-year-old dude, right? All right. All right, so now that I'm a little pumped up, let's take a look. All right, ladies, be prepared. All right, hoorah. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a day, but you get the idea. Semper Fi, do or die.